What it do? It's your boy P coming live. We're bringing in the discussions about empaths. Man, I wish I had a little bit of water. We're talking empaths today. Ensuring pre-recorded content is clearly distinguishable from live content. Absolutely. Okay, so we're going live. Need it. Check your internet connection. All right. Just check in. Stream preview. Are we in this one? Hey Nancy, what's going on? I had to end this I had tried to run 2 lives at the same time, but that wasn't working very well. So we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that at all. All right, here we go. So now I'm live. I'm here. I thank you for the like. We're talking empaths today. Before we do anything, I want to have you just start to actually shake your wrist. And let's start here. Let's just get the energy moving in our body. So I had to really come back to me today we're talking about empaths, talking about narcissism, some empaths dating narcissism, and really how to improve your sex. And there's a lot of things that we're going to do about this, like to be able to get away from the bad sex, right? Like it's time for us to get away from bad sex. Let's be honest. It's time for us to get away from toxic sex. It's time for us to stop prioritizing what do you call it? The good dick game. It's time for us to start exercising a departure from allowing the dick game to be something that can keep you, or something you want to put the blame on for why you stick in these toxic relationships, these toxic codependent relationships. Sex can't be priority number one. Sex cannot be the first reason and the strongest reason why. What's up, Nancy? How are you doing? Going to Nancy. Nancy, I actually saw you booked in for one of the free astrology readings. And I'll check in with your comment now. You said, sucks that I have to go and pick up my daughter from school, but I'll be back. Yo, honestly, I just started this, so it's all good. It's all good in the neighborhood. I should still be here regardless. It will be live, right? And it will be posted. So I'm going to make this public, but definitely enjoy your daughter. We're talking right now about empaths being in toxic relationships, allowing the sex to be stronger and more determinate than like the main determinant, if you will, of why we stay in these toxic relationships. So not only that, but I want to let you know that we do have an Aries full moon coming up. All right. Before we get there, I want you to take your hands and I want you to begin to pat on your face with your fingertips. I want you to begin to feel the release. I want you to do this with me live. And remind me to keep coming back to this. Keep that going while I pull up this video, because I have a little timeline of what we're going to talk about today. So I've made a little structure. It's in the description. So you'll be able to see the description of how do you not go back to these toxic relationships, and also use this Aries full moon energy that is coming up. All right. So this is critical. Here we go. Empath energy, different energy protection tips. All right. That you can do. For starters, and I'm going to put this in the, this is going to be number 1. I'm going to put this in the chat as well. For starters, we're going to start with some movement. Okay. So if you can stand while watching this, definitely do. Or if you want to comment a little bit and sit down, hey, feel free, feel free to help me out with the numbers. But we're going to I'd rather you stand, right? I'd rather you stand. If you're going to do this while sitting, that's okay too. But stand. All right. I'm going to have you put your hands on your hips, and we're going to take you through a journey. All right, empath, we're going to take you through a journey. I'm going to have you put your hands on your hips, and I want you to begin to exaggerate these circles. All right. I want you to move around, spin around in these circles, and I want you to draw your shoulders back. So what I mean by that is draw your shoulders back as you begin to circle. So empath, you're psychic. You know this. You're a magician. We know this. You can cast white magic, black magic. We know this. What the key with this is to understand your power. All right. Understand why would a narcissist be so addicted to you? Why would someone who wants to control and dominate you want to so badly, and make sure you do this movement with me. Why would they so badly want to be attached to you specifically? Why does this seem to be? Just follow along with me. Just gonna interlock our fingers. So even if you're sitting down, you should be doing this. Why do we allow people to control and dictate as I open up the side of my body? Our actions, our very life, our very identity. Right now we have Mars and Libra, and it's bringing a lot of justice and fairness. It's the scales are starting to, Libra is all about balancing the scales, all right? And we're working towards the Aries full moon, which is all about stepping into your identity, just owning your identity, right? You know, part of my identity is to embody motivation through movement, all right? Body and motivation through movement. So right now we're moving and we're embodying these lessons about how, as an empath, you can protect yourself energetically, all right? Number one, we're going to sit here. We're going to open our arms as big, as wide as we can, cross them over, switch which arm comes on top. We're going to begin to actually give ourselves a hug. Again, whether you're standing or sitting, there's no reason why you're watching this video that you should not be able to give yourself love, because this is priority number one, and it is the number one reason I would say right now that you are struggling in these relationship dynamics where you are trapped because you are not able to give yourself a hug. Let's think about that for a second. What am I really saying? Is it the physical act of this hug? Is it the physical act of this hug itself? Thank you for that like. Thank you for that like. I appreciate you. Definitely like and subscribe this if you're looking to create an incredible sex life. I'm going to teach you how to do this leveraging astrology. And right now, in the astrological air, right now we have Libra, which is all about codependency. Like I feel like codependency starts with Libra. Every Libra you've ever met, they will prioritize even the superficial relationship just to be liked, just so that somebody likes them. Now we're going to get a little more intuitive. And I'm not saying that that's wrong. I'm not saying that, but you know, at a certain point, we got to stop sacrificing ourselves in these relationship dynamics. And we got to stop blaming the narcissist, okay? At a certain point, we got to stop blaming narcissism. We got to stop blaming this dickhead. We got to stop blaming all these people and start taking real action, start moving our body, because the energy, the emotions that you have, the emotions of the pain and the trauma and the I want to leave, but I just can't. I want to leave, but I have kids. I want to leave, but I got to take out the trash. I want to leave, but I have bills to pay. I want to leave, but I gotta. And it becomes so much overwhelming energy, emotional and psychic energy, that you are a magician. You need to understand that you are casting spells on yourself. You need to recognize this. You are casting magic on yourself. Nancy, I see you still here. I thought you was going to be on the dip. You're casting black magic. You got to recognize that the black magic is not always coming from the narcissist self. It's coming because you're lowering yourself. You're keeping yourself here at a certain point. All right. You're stopping yourself. You're putting the ceiling right here. And you're doing that by verbally committing suicide, in the sense that you're restricting the possibilities of something different, because you're confirming over and over and over everything that you have to do, which is nothing to do with a practical, real life solution. Okay, let's take our wrist and let's roll. This becomes, believe it or not, a practical, real life solution. Why? If you're an empath, you're watching this, think about it. How often do you, the person that you love, the person you care for, how often do you just rub their body? You just massage them. If it's not that, how often do you find yourself cooking their meals? All right? You're cooking their meals. Okay, maybe you're not cooking their meals, but now you're doing their laundry. You're doing their laundry, you're throwing it in. Your wrist, something so simple as this, emotions get trapped in the trauma of everything this narcissist you feel like they made you do. All of that, it gets trapped now in the wrist. Not just the wrist, plenty of places in the body, but just to show where the presence, where we can bring presence to our body. By not responding and reacting to everything that you find happening in different narcissistic relationships, stop responding to the trauma, the demand, the control, the obsession, the possession. Stop responding to that from a reactive point of view, a reactive action center. All right? Stop responding from a reactive point of view in our reactive action center. The action center now becomes the decisions that you make, the lies that you begin to tell yourself that you can't witness as an empath because you're so focused, overly focused on pleasing this woman or this man that you're in a relationship with. So focused on pleasing them that you cannot recognize that you are the reason you are trapped. You're the reason that you are trapped. I had to recognize for myself that I was the reason that I kept with the karmic relationship cycle being trapped and demanding, possessive, freaking impossible to meet the standard always rising. The better you do, the more you do. And I had to recognize how I was acting and operating out of a place of need, because it allowed me to not focus on myself and what was I doing as a part of the fault of that karmic cycle of possession, control, and trauma, and allowing, by giving permission to the person I was dating, to the people I was dating, to all the relationships that kept repeating over and over and over again, all the relationships that kept repeating in my life with different people. The one common denominator that continued to stand was me. It was me. I am the reason that I keep attracting karmically until I decide to make a change, till I decide to make a shift, to notice the red flags, and to operate from a proactive mindset, from a proactive action center, from a proactive point of view. This is the most critical element. If you really rock and resonate with that, I want you to drop a comment right now, and I want you to confirm with yourself, and we're going to move to our next movement exercise. I want you to drop whatever you're about to confirm. I want you to write what you're going to confirm. I want you to write down, I will as well. I want you to write down what you feel like you want to confirm to gain strength and to take your power back and to step back into your identity, the newly formed identity, not the identity of the weak little person you felt like you were, who was harmless and victim mentality that you're leaving, that you're growing from, that you're transcending, that you're evolving from, but where you're going. I want you to write in the comments where you're going and affirm something within yourself that you've learned so far from toxic relationships that you keep finding yourself in as an empath, as a caregiver, as a nurturer, with who we are viewing as the narcissist, as the selfish, egotistical bastards. All right. So for me, what I'm affirming right now, as I take a breath, softly, breathe up, breathe in, quiet, and drop your chest. As I take a breath, softly, breathe up, breathe in from the belly, and take a breath. Drop your chest. Then you should not even hear your own breath on the other side of this camera. It should be so soft and gentle as your chest falls. Notice the tension from your jaw beginning to relax. Notice the tension from your jaw beginning to relax. I want you to release the teeth. We're so angry all the time. Oh, this motherfucker just pisses me off. Oh, I just gotta get out of here. Oh, I can't keep falling into the cycle. Oh, the sex can't be this good for me to just. Oh. Let that shit out. Yo, I'm here. I'm sorry. You know, the reason I couldn't show up authentically in my own space is because I was catering way too much energy, way too much time, way too much empathetic freaking power that was just coming from me, from the seen and the unseen, just giving blessings and opportunities to people. I had to check in, and I couldn't give that to you live, where I'm able to actually take people out of these codependent, toxic ass relationships with all the wrong people, narcissists, empath. It's time to step up. My exes were like that, but now I'm questioning my spouse sometimes. Whoa. All right, let me ask you this. Are you questioning yourself? That's the question that first comes to mind right there. My exes were like that, but now I'm questioning my spouse sometimes. All right, well, like I just said, I just told on myself how I was the common denominator. I said there was one common denominator. The person kept changing, but the denominator stayed the same. Me. Me. So are you actually questioning your spouse? Or are you beginning to question yourself? Because I needed to start questioning myself. And let me tell you how I did it for myself. But before I do that, as we took these breaths and we had a moment to like really bring ourselves in, I want you to confirm one thing in the chat. I want you all watching this to not just like this, not just subscribe this. I want you to all watch this. Good, Nancy. I am happy that you are not questioning yourself. That's a fuck yes. Doesn't matter what tone of voice I'm taking. It doesn't matter what pressure you might or might not feel from me, quote unquote, calling you out, which I'm not doing. I'm just really trying to get us to check in. I'm just trying to observe where we at. I'm glad you're not questioning yourself. Absolutely. Matter of fact, I hope you're not driving because I want you to clap your hands. I won't see it on the other side, but I want you to dead ass clap your hands. I want everybody to just clap. And I want you to understand that everybody, the just after this live even streams, they will also now, you continue to survive. And you're watching this video and you're now ready to thrive. You're now ready to move forward. You're now ready to be back into your power. You feel me? You're ready to step into your power. Notice the difference. Notice the energy. I'm just sitting here clapping. I'm not clapping as loud as I can because it's not me clapping for everyone else to see. It's not me clapping for everyone else to hear. It's me clapping because I have now become my own validation system and I fucking rock with myself. You feel me? Like it's just that simple. I rock with me. I fuck with me. You feel me? We have to start thinking from that standpoint. Listen, she's driving. I want you to, when you get home, I want you to clap. I want you to clap. Maybe even stop texting because you have a daughter you're going to pick up and I want to make sure that you get her. I'm not going to sit there and take the clout or take the praise or any of that shit over the priority. I want you to thank you, Sarah, for clapping. I'd rather you not text me and just listen to this as a podcast format with that functionary because I'm not going to sit there and be the person that says, yes, let's throw up the ratings and, risk your life as you go get your daughter. This is once again us prioritizing ourselves, and part of prioritizing ourselves, boom, is sitting there and saying, these are the people that I care for. And because I care for them, I'm going to make sure to do my best. I'm going to make sure to do my best to be present with me. And as I'm present with me, I recognize I'm mother. And because I'm a mother, I recognize that my priority is my child. And because my priority is my child, I step out of these codependent, toxic ass relationships. I step away from the narcissist in my life, recognizing this is not only my romantic and love partner, but this is my mother and my father. This is my uncle and my aunt. This is that third grade teacher who was a fucking prick. Well, welcome back, Mr. Third grade teacher. Welcome back, Mrs. Third grade teacher. I'm stepping back in my power. It's time to start confirming shit like that. Bang. Talk to text. Okay, bang, you home? Okay, bang. So we rocking. I'm glad with it. Now you can start typing. You can trigger finger on them things. Throw it up. Share it with somebody. Listen, let me now. That was a hell of an intro, but I have now a series of 8 energetic tips that you can do to protect yourself. And as I want you to have the church and gen in because I'm actually about to do some movement. Before I get to those 8 energetic tips, I wrote out 8 energetic tips as an empath that you can do to protect yourself against narcissists, right? The journey. I'm stepping into my power. Confirmed. Everybody else, I want you to confirm. Type that shit in the chat. What are you doing? And if you don't know what to say, I want you to just literally say the same thing and let the journey, ironically, right? Look at that impact shit. You think that's not a synchronicity? You think that's not a moment of connection, a moment of power, a moment of affirmation? The journey is stepping into his or her power. I'm sorry, I don't know his or her. I'm typing it too, into my power. You know what? We're going to drop a period, right? There's no exclamation point going. I'm learning to surrender and go with the flow. I'm learning to surrender and go with the flow too, Sarah. Me too, Miss Atkins. I'm learning to go with the flow too. I'm learning to continue. You know, I do think in some ways I'm naturally a go with the flow person, right? You've seen I put that Life Path 11 video up, and generally I don't operate in a logical manner. I operate more from like fairies telling me what to do, and the wind says take a left, and I take a left, and then the squirrel says look up, and I look up, and then the butterflies tell me that I'm transforming, and I transform, and then the color that's linked with it was orange, and it says transform your sacral chakra, your joy center, your sexual traumas, your sexual moments where these hidden motives behind why you're having sex are misaligned with your values. Now check in, right? So I'm rocking with the go with the flow too. And so what I want to say from there is that the flow sometimes for me hiccup. I get hiccups. Sometimes my flow is like you feel me? Like it's like I get little hiccups here and there. Fire. Fire. I'm loving this live thing. You know, I don't know why I didn't do this earlier, and I did, and I think I just needed to be I needed to get in alignment. But because I was dating so many narcissistic mentalities, and I don't mean to kill this word narcissism, but I will be honest, that is part algorithm. I do have my tags in, and we're going to have everybody watch this. We're going to have the narcissist watch, we're going to have the empath watch this, because it's not until then that we understand each other's struggle from both side left and both side right, that I think we can begin to come together and have a heart that is now in union, to operate from a heart that is whole, a heart that is intact. You feel me? Increasing trust. I used to be a control freak. Virgo. Absolutely. Absolutely. I rock with the Virgo energy. Yo, here's what I want to say. If you really have that heavy Virgo energy, this is going to be the one thing that actually brings you what you want, right? And this is like a straight promise, because this is the stuff. I am running a sacred sexual breath shop workshop. A sacred sexual breath workshop. I'm trying to like sit there and copy and paste this link for you, and I'm gonna drop it in the chat. I am dropping it there. It's also pinned up at the top. And here's what this is going to do. We're going to teach you how to move the sacred chakra energy, which actually sits, and I want you to try this. I want you to take 4 fingers. Your sacral chakra sits 4 fingers above your belly button. All right. So you put the bottom finger on your belly button and 4 fingers right here. This is where your sacral energy is at. So it's not actually on my belly button. All right. Out here at the top of those 4 fingers. Now I want you to, and I'm going to do this. This is going to happen more in the workshop, but I'm going to show you some insights of this, right? I want you to now focus on that point. All right. It does help at this moment if you close your eyes, but now I'll just talk. I want you to focus on this point. I want you to take that finger. If you took your 4 fingers, I want you to mark 1 finger on your belly. Take that finger. I want you to rub it in a little baby circle. And what this is going to do is begin to warm up the energy, which is the center of our joy. Did you feel that? I know you're an empath, so you felt that when I spoke and my voice just hit you on the microwaves. That energy just went through the tech. That spiritual energy just went through the tech. I want you to make little micro circles. I want you to slow the circles down now. And now as you slow the circles down, I want you to actually feel for a moment. And I want you to imagine an orange light, a bright orange light, your favorite color orange. And I want you to imagine that light brighter than neon orange. It's just glowing. And I want you to consider from 1 to 10, how charged do you feel like your relationships are right now? The relationships that you have in your life with all people, just collectively, are they charged 1 to 10? 0 being they're absolutely depleted and your relationships are just depleted. All right. You're an empath energetically. Your joy is out the window. Your relationships are completely out of balance. You're seeking pleasure in manners through avenues that you just don't want, whether that's just an excessive amount of porn, whether that is just seeking out one night stands. This can also be through food and just finding your joy and your pleasure through food, but it's just temporary and the food is losing its sensation. I want you to think and consider your joy. Is it just completed at a 0? Is that a 5 somewhere halfway between the highest it possibly can be? Or is it a 10 somewhere where it's the highest that it possibly can be? You're experiencing so much joy right now as you imagine this orange light. The orange light is so bright, or is it so dim? Or is it somewhere in the middle? Maybe an 8, maybe a 4, maybe a 10 and you're just all the way there. Or maybe you wish it was a 10, but it's really a 7. Or maybe it's a 0 and you're absolutely depleted. Now I want you to take a soft inhale, empath. Breathe in with me. As the air rises through your heart and it circulates your heart, I want you to continue and take another inhale. Don't exhale. Take another inhale, softer, quieter, and slower, up to your brain. And I want you to begin to notice the shift in your body and your energy. Notice the frequency is shifted. The vibration, it changed. As that energy begins to make it back down and you check in with that orange light, check in with your pleasure center. Allow your chest to drop down. Allow your jaw to relax. Allow your chest to drop down. Allow your jaw to relax. And I want you from a scale of 1 to 10, and you don't have to, we can keep this private, so you don't have to. From a scale of 1 to 10, I want you to write down in the chat your number. From 0 up to 10, how charged is your pleasure center? Are your pleasures imbalanced or in alignment and balanced with your joys and your values? Are your values matching your pleasures right now? Or are you doing things out of integrity? And maybe that number 1 through 10 is a little bit lower. More like 5, which sucks 0 sexual energy. High on this end. Okay, here we go. More like a 5. We're like at a 7.5. Dope. I appreciate you for affirming this. I want to feel in myself. Is my values, my pleasures aligned? You know what? I really feel like I'm at a 7 right now. Not where I would like to be. I felt the same. I wish that I could have put it higher, but I had to check in with integrity and I had to recognize, you know what? I know I was doing a couple foolish things, not all the way out of alignment with. I feel like I'm still up in a sense, but I knew I was doing a couple foolish things. I knew I was playing around with myself and I wasn't using my energy the way that I should, the way that I would want to. I'm not going to say should because I'm not going to shame myself. I'm not going to say should because I'm not going to shame myself. So I take that back. I rescind that and I'm stepping into my power as we confirmed already. I'm stepping into my power. And so I won't shame myself in this moment as an empath, somebody who energetically is always trying to do better, right? As a Virgo, I had that Virgo in my 10th house in astrology. I have that Virgo in my 10th house in astrology. And, you know, that's where I'm like glittery and in the mind. And I'm hyperactive around the public image. And part of that public image, 10th house reputation is what took me so long even to get online, to get on the internet, because I was so critical, because I was just always trying as that Virgo energy to get my public image just right, to get the tags just right, to go live at the right time, to focus on so many Virgo type, small, miniature, minute details. But I'm not going to shame myself because all of that has built me to this point where I'm now passing that 1,000 mark, able to go live, able to reach a higher number, able to have on that public stage the freaking recognition enough through the daily Virgo habits over time, right? And I got to pull you back, Sarah, because Virgos are not perfectionists. No. Nope, I'm pulling back. I got to type that one. I'm pulling back. Virgos are not perfectionists. This is pop astrology that is bringing people out of balance with what the constellations are really interpreting to us. Virgos are not perfectionists. Matter of fact, if you can, when you get the reason why, I want you to type Virgos are not perfectionists. But I'm going to give you the reason why first. Virgos are not perfectionists. Virgos is the second earth sign, all right? Virgos is the second earth sign. Reeled it back in real quick. Virgo is the second earth sign. The first earth sign is concerned with security. Our ground chakra, our red chakra point, all right? The Muladhara in Sanskrit, or the root chakra as we know it, the red bottom chakra, all right? Which is more in like your pelvic region, all right? It's more like in your pelvic region. And that is the root. The first earth sign before Virgo comes. We got to understand Taurus to understand Virgo, to understand Capricorn. We have to understand Earth as an element. Security happens in Taurus. Security is our survival of basic needs: water, shelter. All right. Also counts money. Money counts our resources, our basic resources for survival, to feel safe, to feel grounded, to feel secure within ourselves. All earth signs are like this, but they require different things to feel safe and secure in themselves. For Taurus, the first earth sign is these things, resources including money, your home, your shelter, the food that you eat, nourishing foods that make them feel and experience pleasure, all right, and joy. So Taurus is linked to like that orange chakra as well as the red chakra, the ground root chakra and the sexual energy chakra. I see somebody commenting, love your videos, man. I'm here. I can't see the rest of the comment, but thank you. I appreciate it. Now, Virgo, we move in. This is really for empaths, right? This really plays into empaths and how you can protect yourself. Because if you check in with the Taurus energy in chart, you'll know what you need to feel safe and secure, all right, and your basic necessities. You check in with the Virgo party in chart, you know where in your life do you need to step away from this definition of perfectionism and step into the reality that with all things mundane, all things mundane, all things, which is now why it's so many thoughts all the time, all things mundane, you are inclined as a Virgo to improve. Now, the improvement is a constant and forever slow, grounded, but mutable, which is interesting because Earth doesn't normally move, but mutable progress to bring into physical reality your imagination from Pisces, your twin sister, right? This is Virgo specifically. So Pisces is completely detached, the furthest thing from perfect, and they're just like fucking fairies all around. Now, Virgo was on the opposite and so much into the earth, so grounded in the sense that it has to be grounded in reality that it won't allow enough space for its imagination to just fucking relax, to realize that part of improvement is incorporating rest. Part of improvement is incorporating rest. Part of improvement is incorporating self-care. Listen. I had to recently tell, I just recently got out of a relationship, right? And I had to recently tell at one point, listen, you want to be an empath? You want to know an energy protection technique? Here's what I need you to do. I need you to now, while watching this, I need you to start touching on your feet. I want you, the same way you want somebody to give you a massage, I need you to start touching on them feet right now. Rest is productive. I had to learn that. Absolutely. Because Virgo season just passed. And I know that you were forced to learn that because of all the Pisces energy that was contrasting and it was forcing you. The stars was operating for you. God was operating for you. For you as a Virgo, especially to incorporate rest and a balance, to recognize the power of recuperation, of allowing your muscles time to not be so inflamed because you're standing on your feet and you working so hard every day. I know you work hard every day, Virgo. I know you work hard every day. Them fingers typing away on that keyboard for your job. I know you're working hard every day. You calculating and crunching them numbers to keep the household in shape, to keep the analyzation intact, to organize the chaos. You feel me? This is part Virgo thing coming in, Nancy. Virgo's most important mission is to organize the chaos. Okay? This is why it's not actually about perfection, it's about improvement. But it has the fastest mind in the zodiac along with Gemini. They have two different purposes. Gemini is here to take in abstract information, just information from a whole bunch of shit through communication, but really without any real substance. And it shares the planet Mercury with Virgo. Virgo on the opposite side is now very precise and direct. It's not just sharing ideas like Gemini will. It's not just communicating without a real purpose like Gemini will. They both are important equally, but they're yin and yang. Virgo specifically, Virgo 6th house moon, bang, we're going to talk about what that means. And I'm going to get to you too, Nancy. Virgo specifically needs to analyze all things in the mundane world. Like, did I pay my bills? Am I caught up on my taxes? How do I improve this particular arrangement in my kitchen with my spices? My spices are all over the place. How do I improve this to make life simpler? through organization. How do I take everything chaotic in my life as a feminine sign, right? It's able to take chaos in its life and it's able to give chaos order. This is the purpose of Virgo, through improvement. However, because it is mutable, it's an earth sign, but because it is mutable, it now is not supposed to operate like an Aries. All right, if you're empath and narcissist, I'm gonna get full circle into this. It's not meant to operate like an Aries, going directly at it. It's mutable, so it's meant to do a little task here, a little task here. It's not going to finish the task right away. It's going to keep the task open and it's going to make progress on the task. It's going to improve the task. It's not going to complete it. Then it's going to improve this little task. Then it has a third pinky and it's going to improve this little task. And then it has this one over here. It's going to improve this task. Then it's going to go back to this one, but then it has to go to this new one. Then it's going to go back to this one. And it's going to go to this one. It's going to go to this. You feel me? And then eventually, it never really finishes anything. It's not designed to hit an endpoint, all right? This is how you work with the Virgo. This is how you take away the perfectionism from the Virgo, which is not accurate. And you focus on the improvement of the Virgo, which you can now be easier with yourself when it comes to, I didn't finish that task. Yes, the fuck you did, because you weren't designed to finish that task. You were designed to improve the thing you were looking at. All right, pulling back. The struggle is real, absolutely. Reel it back in real quick. Got you. Preach. Rest is productive. I had to learn it. Absolutely. Nancy, here we are. Perfectionism varies from person to person. I have a baking business, so perfection I learned to let go. And it's when it came out better and better. Kind of weird. No, not really, right? Because if you got that Virgo energy, Pisces on the opposite side, and Pisces manifests things into Virgo's physical reality through imagination and through just duality. So duality requires perfectionism and just fucking it up. You feel me? Like, that's duality of the Pisces, your twin sister. You have to understand Pisces to understand Virgo. The duality of the Pisces and the free, lucid, dreamy, and imaginative world of a Pisces who just seems to connect the dots without ever fucking doing anything strong, without doing anything analytical. That's where it is. It comes from allowing and letting go of the control, because the Virgo has so much control of the mundane world, all the tasks, because it knows that no one else will do what it will do. Now, that is important to hear, right? Virgo knows that no one else can do what it thinks about doing, nor will it do it as good as it. Important to understand, because that is where this mindset of perfectionism is born, right? And the control, I would say, more so. This is where the control of the Virgo needs to release. Because first off, that is a very entitled mindset that no one could possibly in the whole world do what you can do the way you can do it. And that if they do it, that it guaranteed, no matter what, will not be better than what you can do as a Virgo. That is where the control in their toxic form turns into perfectionism. But Virgo by itself as a archetype is not about perfection. It's about improvement. All right, here we go. Virgo, 6th house moon resonates in huge on self-care. I even put myself on my schedule daily. Virgo, 6th moon resonates in huge on self-care. Okay, yeah, absolutely, because the moon is now representing, what you do in your, right? The moon is now representing what you do in your subconscious mind, behind the scenes, how you take care of yourself, especially emotionally. How do you provide emotional stability? That's what the moon is concerned about. How do you provide an emotional adaptable nature? House on that? Yeah. Yeah, you definitely gotta I even put myself on the schedule daily. Yeah, you definitely have to have the schedule. You have to. With the moon in the 6th house, it's a must. It's legitimate critical to, I would even say, is more important than whatever your sun sign is, because your emotions is what controls you, right? More our emotions are what get the best of us more often than our consciousness, right? The sun is representing your conscience, but the moon is representing your emotional world, and those control us much more than we are making conscious decisions to do X, Y, Z. So the schedule rocks. Focus on the improvement of the schedule. Focus on letting go, control what that schedule looks like. Like whenever you don't hit the schedule on the dime, sometimes Recognize that that's the Pisces side of you, that's your spiritual side of you coming in outside of the mundane world and saying, hey, here's a gift from your angels. Let it happen. And then you get back to the schedule when you get back, right? Yo, Sarah, we're at the constant urge to improve, learn, and grow. I thought was all about my Sag moon. Your Sag moon does want to expand. It wants to expand. I don't know what your Sag moon house is in, so I can help you understand what it wants to expand on a different level. But the constant urge to learn is definitely important for Sagittarius. Improve more for because Sagittarius is not concerned with improving. You know, it is concerned with learning. Improving, not necessarily. And grow. It is concerned with growth. Absolutely. Sagittarius is concerned with growth. But this makes so much sense. And he's jumping back and forth from task to task. Yo, your Sag moon? Yeah, absolutely. Sag is allowing you things a little wild. You feel me? Sag is allowing you to keep things like spicing it up. I had dated a girl who had a Virgo in 9th house as a stellium. Very interesting, super chaotic in a strange way, a strange organized way. The chaos was because Sagittarius is pure chaos, and Virgo is designed to manage chaos. It's designed to bring order to chaos. So that's actually a fucking bomb ass duo. Virgos are not perfections. Amen. I understand and I hear you. Absolutely a fresh new perspective. That's amazing. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let me now get to how can you protect yourself as an empath. I really enjoyed that rant. All of you fucking rock. You're dope for tuning in and giving me the opportunity. Energy protection tip number 1. I'm now going to paste this in the chat and go bam. Number 1, empath, do not prioritize good sex over your security and safety, especially not from an emotional level. All right. I need to repeat this. Empath, do not prioritize bomb ass sex, incredible ass dick, incredible ass vagina, pum pum, call it what you want. Do not prioritize that over your own security, what you need to feel safe from an emotional level, what your heart needs to feel safe. Your heart, when you're in a positive, healthy relationship, should not be having butterflies for somebody like, oh my God, he's the one. Oh my God, she's the one. Oh my God, the one. Your heart shouldn't be fluttering like that, okay? Your heart should be stable and secure and feel safe. Your heart should feel safe. Your heart should not be feeling anxiety consistently. If you are an empath and you're consistently feeling anxiety in your heart, your empathetic nature and your freaking psychic and emotional powers are requiring you to requiring you to stop taking the shit of these narcissists, taking their shit on as your own. Okay? So let's start there and recognize that there's no sex on the planet. There's no sex on the planet. I don't care how good it is. There's no sex on the planet. You want to create an incredible sex life? You want to do it leveraging astrology and also just bringing a very objective and practical approach into your life? Recognize this statement. There is no sex that is incredible enough. Increíble, maravillosa, nada. There's no sex good enough to allow yourself to be abused. To allow yourself to be abused. Remember, we have to give permission for people to abuse us psychologically. We have to give people permission to abuse us emotionally. We have to be giving people permission to abuse us physically. We set the tone. I set the tone. I'm stepping into my power. Confirm that shit again in the chat. Type that again. You can't type that enough. I'm stepping into my power. There's no good sex in the world that can be prioritized over your security. Because first off, just understand this. You can get good sex anywhere, all right? This is not linked to the one that's abusing you and the one that you're allowing to abuse you emotionally, spiritually, and psychologically, and everything else. You're not, it's time to move on from that, all right? I'm stepping into my power. Thank you, Sarah. All right, number 2. All right, I'm about to paste this. Number 2. This is how you protect yourself from an energetic level, because we need to come back to the understanding of what sex is. Sex is a exchange of light force energy, okay? an exchange of life force energy consisting of light itself, stardust, space, time, continuum, all things like magical powers, like legit magic. Like we can't fully understand the life force energy that creates a baby. You feel me? Like I always try to say is like, you can create a baby, you can create twins. Did you think about that one? You can create triplets. Did you think about that one? You can create numbers of children all at once that you can no longer pronounce, like Akhenaten people, you know, like eight twins at the same time. That is the same life force energy that we are blowing away into an empty basket called narcissism. We gotta own in and step in, which is why number 2 is even more important. You better fucking not. You better not. You better not. Because if you're stepping in power, you damn sure can't have, as an empath, a priority to have bad sex over your emotional security and your emotional safety. You definitely better not be having bad sex. I can almost understand way more if the hedonistic pleasures and why your sacral chakra is out of balance and you're chasing the pleasure through sex because you want good sex. You're freezing on my end. The video is listening slow. That's because, yeah, I hope it just catches up. Yeah, so what I'm definitely saying, as you step into power, you damn sure better not be having bad sex with somebody. Why are we narcs good at sex? Oh, this is awesome. Okay, Mr. Adam from the fitness game and gaming. Why are you good at sex? Okay, I'm a nun now. That's funny as shit. Okay, why are narcs good at sex? Now I'm gonna actually think about myself, right? Because can an empath be a narcissist? Absolutely. Can a narcissist be an empath? Absolutely. They are interchangeable. All right. Like, let's not get it twisted for a second. Right? I'm still on YouTube. I still got algorithms. I have YouTube tags. I'm using words intentionally. Because if I'm talking to you in the real, that's when, we got to get into you got to get into my live Zooms and my different groups and communities, because then we could talk the real. But I still had to learn my Saturn in Aquarius in 3rd house. It made me forced to learn that I have to speak the language of the algorithm, period. I have to use technology to get the message out. I got to lower my superiority complex, right? So my Aquarius is coming in very strong on superiority complex. I'm also in Aries. Sun, Aries, Moon, Aries, Mercury. My superiority complex, I do believe, quite frankly, very naturally, that I'm above a lot. And I have to own that to be able to fucking come down off my horse to recognize that I am that person as well. So I'm gonna answer your question about why are narcs so good at sex, Adam. All right, here we go. Narcs use sex for control. Empaths don't. That's not true. Because I am a narcissist. I am an empath, and I have used sex for control. The difference is empaths try to pretend that they're not narcissists. That's the difference. So because they have that mindset, and because they believe that there's not a narcissist bone in their body, failing to realize that they are attracting this narcissist because the reflection is telling them the karmic hell cycle that they are in as a fucking narcissist from Jump Street. Thank you for that like. You feel me? You're self-aware as a narcissist. You're a self-aware narcissist. All narcissists are self-aware. They're only thinking about themselves. Their narcissists are only thinking about themselves. Of course they're self-aware. What they're not aware of is the next person and their feelings across from them. All narcissists are self-aware. Self-reflection, absolutely. All narcissists are self-aware, and that's also why they're good at sex, because they care about how they're coming off. They care about how that empath remembers them. They want that empath to be like, that was the best fucking dick on the planet. I can't get no dick better than that. That's how they want to control. I can't get no dick better than that. That motherfucker Adam, he pulled up on me. I can't go back. I can't get sex from anywhere else but Adam. That is the definition of fucking cocaine. This is cocaine, baby. Sex is cocaine. We're talking dopamine. You feel me? We're talking a dopamine hit response that got way more power than the like that Instagram gives you. It got way more power than the 10,000 views you get on this video. Sex, baby. So absolutely, it's so hard to get over her. The oxytocin. Thank you. Because I was looking for another word. I knew it was somewhere in there. I knew it wasn't just a dopamine. And I thank you for that. I thank you for that. She is a drug. You know, the thing is, sex is a drug. Attention is a drug. Like fame is a drug as well. Attention is a drug. Attention is a drug. And this is where this divide, if I'm being real, this divide between I'm a narcissist, I'm an empath, I'm an empath, I'm a narcissist, that shit needs to close out. Because first off, you're all one thing. You're all one thing. You're all one thing. And the divide even comes because a diagnosis exists. You feel me? Because we've even allowed a diagnosis of if I am or if I'm not an empath, or if I am or if I am not a narcissist or fucking egocentric asshole, if I am or if I'm not, the fucking label created, the box that even fucking exists, no different than depression, no different than anxiety. The fuck? What is all that? What is all that? What is all of that? Who determined that? Can you call right now? Can you give me the number? Can you Google the number? All right, fuck it. You don't got the number because I know you don't got the number. But can you Google the number of the person who created the term narcissist? The first one, not the one who published it on the internet. Can you give me the number of the first person who coined the term empath? Not the one, not the definition of internet, not who they told you, not the name who claimed the fame. Not the narcissist that said, it's my germs, I did this. You can't call them. You feel me? So it starts there to think that narcissist and empath are different. But premium freaking job. We have a massive English vocabulary. We have a massive English conjugations in Spanish and all this shit. We have words are so like, what the fuck? No one ever uses the right word, first off. You get a couple of people that are super fucking intellectual and they use the right word. But even then they still miss because the control is so strong on that they still miss. Listen, empaths are narcissists. Narcissists are empaths. So you basically groom your victims. I'm not sure exactly what that means. I groom my victims. I mean, essentially, if I'm pausing and I'm thinking about it for a second, that's absolutely what is happening in a narcissistic or codependent and toxic relationship, right? The control is the key term here, right? So the control is the key term here, right? So we want them to fit in the mold that we've created. Like if a narcissist exists, they have a frame, right? There's a frame that exists. And in that frame, there's a certain amount of something that fits in it. And no one actually really fits that frame by default. No one comes out the womb as a baby and just fits into that frame. So yes, we groom people to fit in our frames. And now this is where we got to check in real quick, because even in a positive masculine energetic frame, let's just say masculine energy creates a safe space, right? It creates a safe space, which is a frame. That safe space is a frame. Now, a healthy man, before he meets a healthy woman or a toxic woman, a healthy man in his positive masculine energy, a healthy male, a healthy masculine energy creates its frame. What it does not do, and where these toxic and codependent and super reliant on other people outside of ourselves to ride these emotional highs, because this is what this is all about, to ride these emotional highs, to challenge someone, to see how much power we really don't have by getting them to conform. That's what this is really about. All right. A positive masculine and energetic frame is created before the male or the female is met. Mind you, I have feminine energy in me and very dominant, as well as masculine. I'm pretty much 50-50. As well as everyone else listening to this live broadcast right now, you have a masculine and feminine energetic system that you operate from, whether you're aware or not. All right. So boom, definitely like this video. Definitely subscribe to this video. Let me step back. We're about to get serious, yo. This is how you get away from the bad sex. Let's talk about it. Let's escape. Let's escape the good sex. Let's escape the good sex. Let's get the bad sex. If you're an empath, narcissist, doesn't matter at this point. Let's do this. Let's do this. Sorry, I shouldn't have sent that. I was like, oh crap. All right, let's do this. Definitely check in with me on the breath workshop, because we're going to really learn how to move this masculine energy up. I'm going to get to your comments right in a second. We're going to move this energy up because this is the energy we can now move up to our pineal gland right here, third eye, ajna in Sanskrit. Move that to our pineal gland, and we can begin to remove the illusions, right? Let's say one IE illusion that there's a difference between empaths and narcissists. I mean, yes, in some capacity, there's a fine line. In some capacity, there's a fine line because there's a choice made of who you're choosing to be more of. You're choosing to be either more of the narcissist or you're choosing to be more of the empath, but there's a lot of similarities. So we're going to get to that. We're going to get to that. But let me read this comment. Oxytocin, like a drug. So you basically groom your victims. Love bombing. The codependency. Good God for growth. Hell yeah. Sorry I sent that. I was like, oh crap. What is she saying? Is it because I'm an empath that when I have sex, I give everything I have emotionally? I can't have casual sex like the people I know. Boom. We're gonna get that. Kids seriously keep bugging me. I'm trying to learn. Tell the kids to pull up. They should be learning too. Here we go. Sarah. Is it because I'm an empath that when I have sex, I give everything I have emotionally? You know, honestly, I don't think that's necessarily because you're an empath. That's the moment where I think you scheduled your astrology blueprint with me. Definitely people in this video watching live, checking with me, schedule your astrology blueprint. Giving a free 15-minute out to people. So what I'll say is when we get to that, oh, excuse me. What I'll say is when we get to that, oh, Jesus, I'm full of air. When we get to that, we're going to talk because your astrology chart is better what's going to help me understand why you give yourself emotionally. My first thought already is that there's going to be some water placements already. Given the fact that you're a Virgo, this probably means that there's some Pisces influence somewhere in your chart. So that's probably more I would look at. But not even just that, but I will look at your 8th house specifically. I will look at your 12th house. I will look at your 4th house. I will look at Mars, wherever Mars placements are, a lot from the asteroids. And you're a Scorpio rising. You don't even have to tell me anything else. Duh. That's why I choose my witchy day. Yeah. I'm a Scorpio rising. I'm a Scorpio rising too. About relationships, type relationships, and all. But yeah, that's why you give because it's linked to your identity. You know, forming a bond with somebody on a soul and devoted level of intimate connection. Intimate is now can be switched up how you please, but ultimately in some capacity, close, very close and vulnerable, emotionally honest connections. You link that to a part of your identity. You want to be identified as somebody who has sex with emotional honesty, brutal emotional honesty and transparency. That is a Scorpio rising off the rip. And it's literally a part of how you identify with yourself, which means anything outside of that would almost be a betrayal. Now, however, I'm not looking at your entire natal chart. So there could be a lot of different aspects, conflictions that could say something completely different for anybody that's watching this live that doesn't happen to be Sarah or myself in this instance, because, you know, when you really get into a person's personal natal chart, shit gets real. Like, I'm no longer guessing and checking, right? Right now, I'm just giving a very broad, general description of a Scorpio rising off the rip. And you gave me a little target bullseye, which is dope. I love this stuff, guys. I really do. Anybody you know who rocks with astrology, anybody you know who is struggling in their sex life and their religious life, I'm definitely running one-on-one mentorships. I live here in Medellin, Colombia, and I've been having people fly in actually to meet up with me one-on-one. I wish I could show you more, but I'm in a stuck position. But I'm in Medellin, Colombia, and the nature here is absolutely gorgeous. Mountains. I run these retreats. Sometimes I do them in groups. Sometimes I do them. I've been liking the one-on-one. And I got one guy coming here the follow-up month. I have another girl coming one-on-one. We're learning how to meditate. We're learning how to basically heal our traumas. We're learning how to take our power back, focusing on a lot of embodying the movements, which I need to do more on my channel. I need to do more movement embodiment practices on my channel. I've just been trying to get my mind around all of these technical things because, like, you know, if I'm being honest, like, I'm just like that random guy that lives in the fucking forest by choice, and be away from all people. But I had to learn that I gotta, part of stepping into my power is to remember that I am a leader and that the world needs leaders right now. So I had to kind of come back into civilization. So work with me. I'm going to put more of the stuff that I really do out there. It's kind of difficult in the sense where it's like, you know, when I'm doing my spiritual practices, I'm not fucking recording myself. You know what I mean? Like, I do my shit. So I need to make sure for myself that I don't begin to disobey what I know I need to do for my life in order to stay spiritually grounded. Spiritually grounded. But Nancy, yeah, we're going to do this. We're going to do this. Thank you, Sarah. This is beautiful. It absolutely is. Leave no rock unturned. I choose my witchy day. Fuck yes, I do too. Let's move on to the third one. Empath. Here we go. This is what is important. Bam. Number 3, empath. Create your frame to value your needs and protect yourself energetically from egocentrical people, from narcissists, people who do not consider your well-being at all. A healthy relationship, a person considers their well-being first. Your partner should consider their well-being first and foremost. They should value themselves first and foremost. However, they should not disregard, without any compassion, who you are, what your cultural backing is like, how your systems have operated through conditioning of your parents. They should be familiar and compassionate enough to listen and understand these things so that they do not continue to trigger you on purpose. All right? I say on purpose for a reason. There's one thing when this shit is happening and we're triggering people by accident, okay? That more likely says that we're operating from an unconscious behavior or pattern. But when we do this on purpose, now we're stepping into that narcissism. We're taking control and exercising extreme entitlement. And that is now a problem. Triggers are dangerous. Triggers are healing. Triggers are healing. Triggers are a roadmap to healing. Like that. If you feel like typing that too, I highly recommend. Triggers are a roadmap to healing. I love triggers. I want to see all my triggers. I seen I had a Scorpio rising in here, and I know when them triggers come off, you're like, I want to understand. Why the fuck did I act up? Why did I see what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? I knew it because she was the Scorpio rising. Scorpios, you're here to do that. You're here to bring pain and trauma and things that are looked at as don't do's. You're here to bring those dark fucking things that are so deep and in depth and ingrained into the core of your very existence. You're here to bring that shit out from the dark into the light. So I knew you were gonna like triggers. Triggers are a roadmap to healing. I want to have confirmed that. Thank you, Sarah. Nancy, yo, even if you don't believe it yet, I want you to literally write a roadmap to healing, because the blame then goes away and the personal power is stepped into with confidence, with a knowing, All right. He pushes and I blow up. I feel you, Nancy. Honestly, I really do. Because you know what? I spent a lot of my years being very reactive to people. I spent too many years being reactive to stupid motherfuckers who didn't deserve my time, my energy, my attention, my ability to heal without anything but just to sit in their presence in silence. I was a fucking blow up time bomb, on consistent over and over and over. So I feel you. I feel you. And it feels good to say that. It feels good to say that. It feels good not to pretend that it's something different, that I don't blow up. Triggers are a roadmap to healing. Absolutely. Thank you. Let's move on to let's finish number 3. All right. Empath, create your own frame. Listen, this is the order. All right. You create your frame, and then you invite a partner into your frame that you've created. And then once you do that, you then create a frame of what it looks like when you are operating together. All right. I'm going to repeat the order. You create your frame. You then invite that partner into your frame. You wait for it to find a way to mesh while that person is in your frame. Sometimes it can be easier if you have set this frame up front and you set your values and your needs up front before the sex. Listen, you want to get away from the bad sex? Set your frame up and verbalize it to the person you are romantically and sexually attracted to and interested in. Set that frame prior to having sex with them, and that's how you begin to create an incredible fucking sex life. That's how you begin to have emotionally fulfilling bonds that feel like pure bliss, fucking magic, because it is. All right. That is number 3. All right. It goes in that order. Create your frame. This is my frame. These are my values. These are my fucking emotional needs. I need to feel like I can say, hey, after that next task of yours, can I have 5 minutes of your time? I would like to address something. And when 5 minutes is up, I would like for you to call me out and say, hey, babe, I really appreciate what you said. That makes so much sense. I was actually already thinking about that. Now, would you mind if we continue this later? I wanted to award you that 5 minutes and respect your time and energy. And now I want to reward my space and my time because I also have my frame. And here's how we work in our frames together. And I'm going to get back to my task because I'm focused on this. I got a lot of passion. I got a lot of drive. And you know what, baby? I feel it. This is the one. We're going to be up on top. Bam, 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 bam. You work together. All right. And don't say easier said than done. Don't fucking confirm that shit out loud. Don't trap yourself. Don't confirm that out loud. Don't say easier said than done. All right. It's just easy, but it takes practice and you're going to fuck up sometimes. You're going to fuck it up sometimes. All right. And then I'm telling you, then you're not having sex out of obligation like you feel like you need to. You're having sex because you want to, because you're magnetically drawn towards your partner in a healthy manner rather than feeling like you need to do it so he doesn't get angry or she doesn't get angry. Feeling like you need to do it so they don't have to face the guilt or the shame, but you begin to have sex because you want to, because you would like to ever so gently be penetrated and loved with intentions where you now practice sex magic. One of my last intentions I set with my previous partner was patience. And that was actually 2 different sexual encounters that I had. I said I would like to put patience on the line for what my life force, sacral chakra energy is going to create, the Swadhisthana in Sanskrit. That's what I said. Patience was practiced. And as it was practiced, patience was rewarded with me being not in that relationship. Who knew? It wasn't I asked for patience partially to be able to handle all the fucking chaos. That's why I asked for patience, quite frankly, if I'm being really honest. But little did I know that that patience was going to be created by stepping into the harmony of myself, my own time to spend with myself, to create this frame, number 3, that I'm talking about. And that was patience. So triggers are a roadmap to healing. I try to believe. Nope. Here we go. I believe. Believe. I believe. I believe. I just felt my heartbeat just drop. I don't know if that was you from the other side of it. My shit just said, doom, doom. My heart just said, doom, doom. My heart just said, doom, doom. Just 2 times. I literally heard the beat in my left eardrum. Doo, doo. When I said, no, I believe, I believe, I believe. The empowerment as you step into your power is not in the try. It's in the do. And the do doesn't need to be a physical action up front, but that verbal action needs to be the guide, the roadmap, that verbal action of I believe, I believe, I believe. You don't even have to have done yet, but you already shoot yourself in the foot when you say, I try to believe. I try to believe. Because then there's room for doubt. There's room for, there's a possibility that I don't believe. And even if it's actually true, because I've been there, I promise you, I promise you, I promise you, even when it's true, where I did believe, I had, I believe, I believe, I believe, until I forced myself to believe it by making sure I lived in integrity and I put the action to the word. I just said, look, I'm taking this action and I'm putting it on that word. I'm taking this action and I'm putting it on that word. You're an empath. This is critical. Nope. I already said so much he's. I didn't even read the rest yet, Nancy. So much he's. I didn't read the rest yet because the blame was evident. You smell that? That's that evident blame. That's that evident blame. All right, but I'll read the rest. Hold on. So much he's done that half of me is dead emotionally to him. Yeah, that's deep. That's deep. But is it really half? Is it really half? Is it really half? Are you really half dead to him? Or are you just being nice? I told him not to do certain things, and he did it over and over. So each time, part of me died. Nancy, I gotta say no. Girl, I don't even know you yet, and I don't even know you yet, and I love you, Nancy. I don't even know you yet, and I love you. And I gotta say no. I gotta say no. If you won't refuse that for yourself, then I'm gonna refuse it for you right now as a part of your support system until you refuse it on your own. I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say no. Here's why. Ready? I'm gonna say I have to give. Now, this may almost sound like a disempowering statement, but I'm gonna tell you why this is counterintuitive and it's an empowering statement. I have to give permission to others to harm me. All right. Let me tell you why this is more empowering rather than disempowering, because it is counterintuitive. Because it's not like I believe, right? Like it's not like I'm the best. No, no, no. I'm gonna speak some real shit. I'm gonna speak an objective truth. And enjoy this time. Looking forward to the replay. Absolutely. I respect you, Sarah. And we got our meeting too. We'll meet up. We'll meet up. And I send you big love. You know, clap for somebody today when you get off this call. Matter of fact, you could even do it right now as you leave out. Clap for somebody. I have to give permission to others to harm me. All right. My passion towards him. No, to what? I'm still there. Listen, you have to give away your power. It can't be taken. You can only give away your power. It cannot be taken. When I came to terms with that objective truth and I started walking in integrity with that specific truth, things started changing. Sarah, I rock with you. Big love. Big love, girl. My life started changing. And thank you, Queen. Y'all all queens on here. Y'all all kings on here. My life started changing when I took the personal responsibility and the power back into my own hands. And a part of what that looks like is realizing that we have to begin to blame ourselves with the same weight that we blame our partners. We have to begin to blame ourselves with the same weight that we blame our partners. That's the only way we can take accountability and take the power back into our hand. Damn, my heart just did it again. And now, all my empaths on here, all my energetic people, I feel like I'm feeling people who are not even necessarily here yet or didn't even catch this part of their life. Definitely like and subscribe to it. Share this with somebody you know who's in trouble in a relationship. Share this with somebody you know who's in a toxic relationship. I feel my heart so heavy right now. Let's take a breath. Let's take a breath. Matter of fact, I'm going to practice a little Tai Chi because we talked about moving the energy in our body, right? So let's do that. Maybe take your hand, all right? Back up. Too high, too low. All right, I'm going to take your hand. I'm going to have you stand up. And your finger's not actually quite touching, only so that you can feel the electricity in your fingers. As you relax your shoulders down, stand up nice and tall. As your shoulders kind of open up, and jaw down and back. And I want you to imagine a ball of energy in between your hands. And notice this energy brings electricity to your fingers. You're an empath, which means you're a magician, which means that all of that emotional baggage that you're storing inside of your body can be and needs to be moved out. And so we shall stay practical and do that now. I want you to feel the electricity in your palms. Feel the tingles, the micro shifts as you relax your jaw. Now we begin to move this energy up our spine. As we bring it into our nose, that inhale, and we bring the energy back down our spine. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say pause here, and I want you to inhale nice and slow from the red, orange, yellow, green, light blue, indigo, purple, down, purple, indigo, light blue, green, yellow, orange, red. As we inhale, soft, orange, yellow, green, light blue, indigo, purple, purple. As we exhale, indigo, light blue, green, yellow, orange, red. As we inhale, red, orange, green. Soft inhale, slow it down. Light blue, indigo, purple, purple, indigo, light blue, green, yellow, orange, red. And we begin to kind of step back into our body. Notice that we are in control. All right? We are absolutely in control. All right, let's move on to number 4. Empath, take personal responsibility. All right? So this goes right into what we were talking about before. This number 4, we take personal responsibility. Stop blaming narcissism and be brutally honest. And as we are being brutally honest with ourselves, thank you for confirming. As we are being brutally honest with ourselves, we recognize that we got to take the blame away from people outside of ourselves. And we have to check in with our part. We got to check in with our own guilt. We got to check in with our own shame. We have to do our part and check in. That's absolutely important. And we pretty much just spent time on that. So I'm going to go right to number 5 because we just spent the time answering that even just through the conversation. Number 5, empath. Narcissists need you to feed their demands. Don't. And prioritize yourself. Now, this can be very tricky in a way, because the moment you stop feeding their demands is the moment that they will begin to express anger and rage, and they will fearmonger you to sit down into your place. How do you take back all your power 100%? We're going through it all right now. Number one through. All right, I'm gonna go back through. I'm gonna go 1 through 5 right now. Ready? How you take back your power? How you protect your energy? Absolutely. Empath, do not prioritize good sex, incredible sex, banging ass sex over your own security and your emotional safety. Okay? Don't do it. That's number one. Second way, how do you take back your power 100%? Empath, do not prioritize bad sex, especially not bad, shitty fucking sex. Especially not bad, shitty sex over your security or your emotional safety. Number 3, we're back in it. Empath, create your frame. We talked about that. Set your frame and then invite somebody into your frame and then figure out from there in steps and levels how to create a frame together. All right. And protect yourself energetically from the narcissist. All right. We have, and I'm a bang. I see how that could have got funky. All right, they didn't let me do that right away. So I'm gonna go bang. That's the 1. So we're gonna keep it live for people. We're gonna like update everybody that's even also coming in new. This is how you get back your energy, and this is how you protect yourself. That's the number 2. We're gonna bust number 3 right now. Feel free. You said how you take back your power 100%. We're gonna get through it. We have 8 of these total, and we went through already. We already on our number 5. So we're coming to conclusion. We're coming to conclusion. Bang. 5. Prioritize yourself first. Here's why. It's going to get ugly when you begin to prioritize yourself. And just know that when you feel that climax of energy, is exactly when that's exactly when you're just about to win. All right. When you get that climax of energy, that rage, that fucking shits get crazy, pots and pans flying, physical contact starts happening. When that fear rises and the fear mongering rises, that is exactly when you're about to win. That's exactly when you have to push through. All right. That's exactly when you push through. That's exactly when you take back 100% of your power and prepare yourself for a heartbreak. But understand that he or she is not breaking your heart. The heartbreak that you're preparing yourself, but understand that he or she is not breaking your heart. The heartbreak that you're preparing yourself for is when you take back 100% power. The heartbreak is that you have to face that you've allowed it to go on for so long. That's the hardest part. That is the real heartbreak. So when you get beyond that last push, when that narcissist starts acting fucking crazy and they want to fearmonger you into doing something that you know is not for your best and your highest, most aligned self, that's when shit goes south. All right. Number 5, empath. Don't let anger or guilt keep you miserable and obedient. Don't let that keep you into the narcissistic relationship. Mind you, a narcissist will really use anger or rage or mentality that they're frustrated with you, or that you're not doing enough, or that you're not pleasing their needs, or that you're not pleasing their needs. It's like, motherfucker, please yourself. You feel me? Please yourself. So we need to take that mentality and not let their anger, or when they guilt trip you to make you want to feel bad for stepping up for yourself, for setting a boundary, for saying this right earlier. What you said, Nancy, what you said earlier. You said earlier that you were trying to do something. He kept doing it over and over and over. My passion towards him, I think it was right here. I told him certain things and he did it over and over and over. You know, the thing is, you're not here to please him. You feel me? Like, you're not here to please him. He needs to learn to please himself, and you need to learn to please yourself. And then you guys need to learn how to give from a place of strength rather than a place of need. You please him because you let the anger control you. You let his anger or her anger control you. The pleasing comes when you let the guilt tripping that they do for you, or the gaslighting and make you seem like you're less than what you really are. That is when we get stuck really deep in these narcissistic relationships. But when you learn to please yourself, and then you give what you give to that partner, willingly, not by some false sense of demand or control, false sense of demand or control or possession, that is when we start really fucking winning. So don't let the anger, don't let the guilt, don't let all that shit carry and hold you back. Um, we're steamrolling. We're going through number 7 now. All right. Empath. Notice this karmic relationship cycle continues with different narcissists. Stop the blame. You notice a trend right now? In a lot of different areas, we got to recognize where we need to stop the blame. A lot of different areas, we got to recognize where we need to stop the blame. This is the tough one I had to recognize myself, that I was the common denominator. That's what I recognized earlier. That was what I recognized earlier. I was the common denominator. I was the common denominator. Even when a different person would come in my life, I would attract the same person, the same shitty, controlling ass, dominating, got to do it exactly their way or the highway people. I kept attracting them. And I had to recognize for myself that I was the common denominator, because I kept blaming everybody outside of myself. And when I say everybody, I specifically mean my romantic partners. I struggled the most in this in romantic partnerships. This is the reality, which is why now I'm going to help you all. If you're an empath, I want you to come to my Sacred Sexual Breath Workshop. It's a celebration. This Aries full moon is the exact energy that's going to help get you. This Aries full moon is everything. This Aries full moon will help get you into yourself, your brand new, evolved version of you. The one Aries that doesn't take no shit. Aries is the god of war. It doesn't take any shit. When you point the finger at someone blaming them, there's always 4 fingers pointed back at you. Bam. And that's the thing, right? Because here's my 1 finger pointing at that person, and then it's literally my other 4 fingers that are pointing back at me. It's literally like this. So even then, all the people that seems like there's these 5 different people pointing, or 4 different people pointing finger, it's me pointing at me. This is when the extreme ownership happens. That's when we take the power back 100%. When we realize that when we tell our friend and they point back and says your fault, and we tell our mom and she points back and says your fault, and we point to our other friend, they point back and says our fault, all they're doing is showing a reflection of how I'm blaming other people. That's what's happening. They're showing me my reflection of how I'm blaming other people. Simple. So your boy's hungry. I enjoyed this live. I appreciate you so much. We're going to have our talk. I think I did see your email, Nancy, about where you were from versus what you actually put. I didn't get to respond to it. Today was a super busy day. I had a lot of clients today. It was a super busy day. I had a lot of clients today. But definitely appreciate you all. I want to see you soon and send you some love. Definitely thank you, Nancy. Take your power back 100%. Matter of fact, let's confirm it in the chat. I take my power back, and I want to go capital now. Capital now. Today. That's it. It's that simple. Today's the day. Today is absolutely the day. Today is absolutely the day. Nancy, I would love to see you at this Aries full moon, the Sacred Sexual Breath Workshop. It's going to be really critical, because what we're able to do when we move that breath, not for sex and have orgasms through sex, if that is even happening, but we get to have them and store that energy within our body to heal and to cleanse all that toxic energy, all that emotional baggage that gets trapped in the body. This is the one. I take my power back now in all capitals. I take my power back now in all capitals. I'm excited to meet you. So again, anybody else coming in, thank you for liking and subscribing to this video. You're here because you want to create an incredible sex life. You want to do it leveraging astrology. I'm going to help you do that, which is dope. I have this link here. I would love to have you join. It's just a donation-based workshop. So you only give what you can. You give what you feel is earned or deserved. And the rest is just like, let's have fun. Let's join my community. I got about 4 people in there. I think 5 people in there right now. And it's just growing, and more people are going to, like the last 2 days, everybody always does their, I'm going to sign in now. So just go ahead and do it ahead of time and get it out of your mind, so you have space to worry about how you're going to navigate these codependent and toxic relationships, to recognize how you're going to operate in these spaces by operating in your frame by going through these 8 tips that we gave you today about how you can protect your energy as an empath, like protect your energy as an energy worker, a healer, a mother, a nurturer. It's time. So I'm sending you love. I'll see you soon.